Hey guys, Maria Mitchell here. Thanks for joining me for another face painting tutorial. In this lesson, we're going to learn how to face paint this unicorn mask. It's super colourful and pretty, and I'm using my favourite Caribbean Cool Rainbow Cake by Sillyfarm, which I absolutely love. The colours are just stunning together, and it works really well with this unicorn mask. Start off by loading up your half sponge with the Caribbean Cool Rainbow Cake. With the gold end of the sponge, stipple the gold from the inner of the eyes and making your way outward, using the edge of the sponge to bring that downward in a diagonal. Doing exactly the same but over the eyelids and for the top part of the eye, and doing it on the other side, flipping your sponge across so the gold is pointing to the middle, and then sponging on that complete rainbow cake. Now with that golden tip of the sponge, try to bring in the gold to connect through the bridge of the nose. If you get any of that orange on the skin, just wipe it off and just try to use the tip of that sponge. Now just loading up my Tag Magpie split cake with my 1/2 inch flat brush. Now for the unicorn head, we're going to bring the brush down into a curve and stop. At the bottom of that curve it downward for a short flat stroke. And for the unicorn's jaw, bring it right down in a straight line and then curve it up. While we're here, we'll bring our brush flat and curve it downward in a diagonal. And where the jawline starts, we'll bring our brush flat vertically and then bring it down to a curve downward. Where the jawline starts, we're going to do a comma downward, and that'll be the unicorn's ear. With the heel of the brush where the white is loaded, just filling in any gaps, as well as extending that white part of the unicorn's head. Now I've just loaded up my number 4 round brush with some Superstar White for the unicorn horn. Just do a teardrop coming upward, making it rather long. Now loading up the aqua from the Caribbean Cool Rainbow Cake, I'm going to start drawing on the mane. So just by doing a series of teardrops coming out and just making sure that it looks like the hair of the unicorn is flowing to one direction. Throwing a couple of curls and swirls also gives it the effect that the unicorn's mane is flowing in the wind. And for the back part of the mane, we're just going to do a curve downward. Now I'm using a number 0 brush. You can use that, a number 1, the tip of a number 2, or a liner brush, whatever you feel comfortable in doing small fine lines. And making sure the eye is relatively close to the unicorn's ear. Outlining the unicorn's ear as well as the unicorn's body under the mane. Flicking up for the unicorn's mouth. For the unicorn horn, I like to do a series of diagonal lines with a curve at the end, curving upward to the point of the unicorn horn. And at the ear, flicking upward for an earlobe. With some white loaded onto a number 6 round brush, we're going to do some teardrops from thin to thick to thin, all pointing to the center of the face, and then continuing on with some teardrops coming through to the center of the face. They're all staggered, so each teardrop as it gets to the center of the face becomes smaller. Now for the top of the mask, we're going to start off with 1 teardrop from thick to thin, and then a curved teardrop coming down, all pointing to the center of the face as well. Pressing your brush down flat to make the thicker part of the brush stroke, and as you lift the brush off the face and off the skin, they'll become smaller and thinner. Now with a number 4 round brush loaded up with white, we're going to draw some wing-like spikes that are pointing downward. With your brush heavily loaded with some white and almost on the watery side, make some dots coming inward, as well as on the center of the face, make them thick by pressing right down and thinner by barely pressing as we reach the inner of the face. Now outlining the entire mane of the unicorn. Making some diagonal stars by flicking your brush outwards 4 times, and a dot cluster right up the top of the horn. Now this is the last step. We've loaded up a number 2 round brush with some bronze, and I'm going to carefully outline all of the teardrops that's making our mask. Now this will bring the whole mask together, and we're essentially just outlining the outside of the teardrops and not in between them. As we're coming around the curves, we're pressing down to make it a thicker stroke. And there you have a super colourful unicorn mask. I hope you enjoyed this. Thanks for watching. If you got something out of this, make sure that you give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. If you have any face painting related questions or you need something that you need clarified, make sure you comment down below and I'll do my absolute best to share my knowledge with you in the next video. I'm on Instagram, Facebook and Twitter. Don't forget to follow me so we don't miss each other for the next one. Until next time, happy painting.